power of reverse thinking, unlocking creativity and problem solving. A new way to see the world. Imagine you're faced with a problem that feels like a brick wall. You've tried every solution you can think of, but nothing works. The harder you push, the more stuck you feel. What if the answer isn't to push harder, but to step back, turn the problem upside down, and look at it from a completely different angle? This is the essence of reverse thinking, a mindset that challenges conventional wisdom, flips assumptions, and opens up new pathways to creativity and innovation. In today's fast-paced world, where problems are complex and solutions aren't always obvious, reverse thinking is a powerful tool. It's not just about thinking outside the box. It's about questioning whether the box even exists. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a student, a parent, or just someone navigating life's challenges, reverse thinking can transform the way you approach problems, spark breakthroughs, and lead to unexpected opportunities. In this podcast, we'll dive deep into what reverse thinking is, why it matters, and how you can apply it in your everyday life. So let's get started on this journey of flipping perspectives and unlocking new possibilities. What is reverse thinking? At its core, reverse thinking is about challenging the status quo by reversing your assumptions or starting from the opposite end of a problem. Instead of asking, "How can I solve this?" you might ask, "What if I made this problem worse?" Or, "What if the opposite were true?" It's a deliberate shift in perspective that forces you to question deeply ingrained beliefs and explore uncharted territory. Reverse thinking isn't a new concept. It's rooted in human curiosity and creativity. Philosophers, scientists, and innovators have used it for centuries, even if they didn't call it by name. For example, when Albert Einstein developed his theory of relativity, he didn't just build on existing scientific models. He questioned the fundamental assumptions about time and space. By imagining what would happen if he traveled at the speed of light, he flipped conventional thinking and revolutionized physics. Reverse thinking is also a staple in creative fields like design, business, and even comedy. Comedians often use it to subvert expectations, delivering punchlines that surprise us because they come from an unexpected angle. Businesses use it to disrupt industries. Think of how Netflix flipped the traditional video rental model by delivering movies online instead of through physical stores. In essence, reverse thinking is about seeing the world not as it is, but as it could be if you dared to question the rules. Why reverse thinking matters. In a world that often rewards conformity, reverse thinking is a rebellion against the ordinary. It's a way to break free from mental ruts and discover solutions that others overlook. Here are a few reasons why reverse thinking is so powerful. 1. It sparks creativity. By forcing you to question assumptions, reverse thinking opens up new possibilities. It's like taking a familiar puzzle and rearranging the pieces to create a completely different picture. 2. It solves complex problems. Many problems persist because we approach them with the same mindset that created them. Reverse thinking allows you to step outside that mindset and find innovative solutions. 3. It encourages risk-taking. When you challenge the status quo, you're taking a risk. But that risk often leads to breakthroughs that others are too afraid to pursue. 4. It builds resilience. Reverse thinking teaches you to embrace failure as a learning opportunity. By exploring what doesn't work, you gain insights into what might. 5. It fosters empathy. By looking at problems from different perspectives, you better understand the needs and viewpoints of others, whether they're customers, colleagues, or friends. In short, reverse thinking isn't just a problem-solving tool. It's a way of life. It's about embracing curiosity, challenging norms, and daring to see the world differently. How to practice reverse thinking. So, how do you actually apply reverse thinking? It's not as simple as doing the opposite of what everyone else is doing that could lead to chaos. Instead, it's a structured approach to questioning assumptions and exploring alternatives. Here are 5 practical steps to incorporate reverse thinking into your life. Step 1. Identify the problem and your assumptions. Every problem comes with a set of assumptions, things you believe to be true without questioning. For example, if you're trying to increase sales for a product, you might assume that the best approach is to market it more aggressively. Start by writing down the problem and listing all the assumptions you're making about it. Be honest. What truths are you taking for granted? Step 2. Flip the assumptions. Take each assumption and turn it on its head. If you assume that aggressive marketing will boost sales, ask, what if we didn't market at all? Or, what if we marketed to a completely different audience? This step is about generating ideas that seem counterintuitive or even absurd. Don't judge them yet, just let the ideas flow. Step 3. Explore the opposite. Now take the problem itself and consider the opposite outcome. If your goal is to make something faster, ask, what would happen if we made it slower? If you're trying to grow a business, ask, what if we shrank it instead? This doesn't mean you'll pursue these opposites, but exploring them can reveal new insights. For example, asking, how can we make our product worse? Might highlight what customers truly value. Step 4. Test the new perspective. Once you've generated some unconventional ideas, test them. This might mean running a small experiment, brainstorming with a team, or simply thinking through the implications. The goal is to see if your reversed perspective leads to a viable solution or sparks a new way of thinking. Step 5. Iterate and refine. Reverse thinking isn't a one-and-done process. Use the insights you gain to refine your approach, combining reverse thinking with traditional methods. The goal is to find a balance between creativity and practicality. Real-world examples of reverse thinking. To bring reverse thinking to life, let's look at some real-world examples where this mindset led to breakthroughs. Example 1. Southwest Airlines and the 10-minute turnaround. In the 1970s, Southwest Airlines faced a problem. They had fewer planes than their competitors, which limited their ability to offer frequent flights. The traditional assumption in the airline industry was that planes needed at least 45 minutes to an hour to turn around between flights, time for passengers to disembark, cleaning crews to work, and new passengers to board. Southwest flipped this assumption. Instead of asking, how can we buy more planes? They asked, how can we make our planes spend less time on the ground? The result was the 10-minute turnaround. By streamlining processes, training crews to work faster, and simplifying boarding, Southwest drastically reduced turnaround time. This allowed them to fly more routes with fewer planes, keeping costs low and becoming one of the most successful airlines in history. Example 2. IKEA and flat-pack furniture. IKEA revolutionized the furniture industry by rethinking how furniture is sold and delivered. Traditionally, furniture was sold fully assembled, which made it expensive to transport and store. IKEA's founder, Ingvar Kamprad, flipped this model. Instead of asking, how can we make furniture cheaper to produce? He asked, what if customers assembled the furniture themselves? This led to the concept of flat-pack furniture products that are shipped in compact boxes and assembled at home. By reversing the assumption that furniture must be pre-assembled, IKEA reduced costs, lowered prices, and made stylish furniture accessible to millions. The company's success proves that sometimes the customer's role in the process can be reimagined to create value. Example 3. The Wright brothers and flight. When the Wright brothers set out to build the first powered airplane, they faced a daunting challenge. No one had done it before. The prevailing assumption was that flight required a powerful engine to lift a heavy machine off the ground. The Wrights, however, took a different approach. They asked, what if the key isn't a stronger engine, but a better understanding of aerodynamics? By focusing on wing design and control systems rather than raw power, they developed the principles of lift and drag that made flight possible. Their reverse thinking, prioritizing control over brute force, changed the course of history and laid the foundation for modern aviation. Example 4. The slow food movement. In the 1980s, fast food was dominating the culinary world, with chains like McDonald's prioritizing speed and convenience. The assumption was that people wanted food as quickly as possible. But in Italy, a group of activists led by Carlo Petrini flipped this idea, asking, what if we celebrated slow, deliberate meals instead? This gave birth to the slow food movement, which promotes local, sustainable, and thoughtful food preparation. By reversing the fast food model, slow food not only changed how people think about meals, but also sparked a global conversation about sustainability and quality. It's a reminder that sometimes slowing down is the fastest way to progress. The science behind reverse thinking. Reverse thinking isn't just a creative trick. It's backed by cognitive science. Our brains are wired to follow familiar patterns, a tendency called functional fixedness. This is why we often struggle to see alternative solutions to problems. Reverse thinking disrupts these patterns by forcing us to consider possibilities outside our mental frameworks. Psychologists call this reframing, a process where you change the way you perceive a problem to unlock new solutions. Studies show that reframing can enhance creativity and problem solving by activating different parts of the brain, particularly those involved in divergent thinking, the ability to generate multiple ideas. When you reverse your assumptions, you're essentially rewiring your brain to see the problem in a new light. Moreover, reverse thinking aligns with the concept of first principles thinking, popularized by innovators like Elon Musk. This involves breaking a problem down to its fundamental truths and building solutions from there, rather than relying on conventional wisdom. By questioning assumptions, reverse thinking helps you get to those first principles and uncover innovative ideas. Challenges of reverse thinking. While reverse thinking is powerful, it's not without challenges. Here are a few hurdles you might face and how to overcome them. 1. Resistance to change. People are naturally resistant to ideas that challenge the status quo. If you propose a reverse thinking solution, expect skepticism. To overcome this, present your idea as an experiment rather than a final solution, and back it up with data or a small-scale test. 2. Fear of failure. Reverse thinking often involves exploring ideas that seem risky or counterintuitive. Embrace failure as part of the process. Each wrong idea brings you closer to the right one. 3. Overthinking. It's easy to get lost in a sea of reversed assumptions. Stay focused by prioritizing the most promising ideas and testing them quickly. 4. Groupthink. In teams, reverse thinking can be stifled by group dynamics. Encourage open dialogue and create a safe space for unconventional ideas. By anticipating these challenges, you can better prepare yourself to use reverse thinking effectively. Reverse thinking in everyday life. You don't need to be an inventor or CEO to use reverse thinking. It's a tool anyone can apply. Here are some practical ways to incorporate it into your daily life. At work, struggling to meet a deadline? Instead of asking, "How can I work faster?" try, "What tasks can I eliminate or delegate?" This might reveal inefficiencies or priorities you hadn't considered. In relationships, if you're in conflict with someone, reverse your perspective. Instead of asking, "How can I convince them?" ask, "What if I'm wrong?" This can lead to greater empathy and better communication. In personal goals, want to get fit but hate the gym? Instead of forcing yourself to follow a traditional workout plan, ask, "What if I made exercise fun?" This might lead you to try dancing, hiking, or a sport you love. In decision-making, when faced with a tough choice, reverse the question. Instead of asking, "What's the best option?" ask, "What's the worst thing that could happen if I choose this?" This can clarify risks and benefits in a new way. By weaving reverse thinking into your routine, you'll start to see problems as opportunities and find creative solutions in unexpected places. The cultural impact of reverse thinking. Reverse thinking doesn't just solve individual problems, it can shape entire industries and cultures. Consider how reverse thinking has driven some of the biggest trends in recent decades. The sharing economy. Companies like Airbnb and Uber flipped the traditional models of hospitality and transportation. Instead of owning hotels or taxis, they asked, "What if regular people shared their homes and cars?" This created entirely new markets. Minimalism. In a consumer-driven world, minimalism reverses the assumption that more is better. By asking, "What if less made us happier?" This movement has inspired millions to declutter and simplify their lives. Remote work. The COVID-19 pandemic forced companies to rethink work. Instead of assuming employees needed to be in an office, many asked, "What if work could happen anywhere?" This led to a global shift toward remote and hybrid work models. These cultural shifts show that reverse thinking isn't just about solving problems, it's about reimagining what's possible. How to cultivate a reverse thinking mindset. Like any skill, reverse thinking gets better with practice. Here are some tips to develop it over time. 1. Ask what if questions. Make a habit of asking what if in every situation. What if we did the opposite? What if this didn't exist? These questions train your brain to think differently. 2. Expose yourself to diverse perspectives. Read books, listen to podcasts, or talk to people from different backgrounds. Their viewpoints can challenge your assumptions and inspire new ideas. 3. Embrace playfulness. Reverse thinking thrives in a playful, curious mindset. Don't be afraid to explore silly or outlandish ideas. They might lead to something brilliant. 4. Practice reflection. After solving a problem, reflect on your process. Could you have approached it differently? What assumptions did you make that could be reversed next time? 5. Surround yourself with creative thinkers. Collaborate with people who aren't afraid to challenge norms. Their energy will push you to think more boldly. Conclusion: the future of reverse thinking. As we navigate an increasingly complex world, reverse thinking is more important than ever. It's a tool for cutting through noise, challenging outdated systems, and creating a future that's not bound by the past. Whether you're solving a personal problem, innovating in business, or simply trying to live more creatively, reverse thinking empowers you to see the world with fresh eyes. So, the next time you're stuck, don't just push harder. Step back, flip the problem upside down, and ask, "What if?" You might be surprised at where it leads you. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of reverse thinking. I hope it inspires you to question, create, and embrace the power of seeing things differently. Until next time, keep flipping those assumptions and unlocking new possibilities.